Grand Rising. Good morning, ladies. This is Laurel, the 21-day fibroid fix, your fibroid flower child. And I am up bright and early this morning to show you just a really quick treat for breakfast or for your tea or your coffee or for any time of day. Makes great smoothies, makes great desserts, but the base that we need to start with is milk. And I remember 10, 15 years ago even, when you could see commercials and you could see campaigns by the dairy industry against milk or alternative milk products. And honestly, I don't have any problem with dairy. I can tolerate dairy just fine, but I learned that actually 65% of the world's population is lactose intolerant. And so I think that that's a large number of people that are going to want to know how to make an alternative to cow milk, which is really what it is, and it's really what I call it. And that upsets my niece. She's like, don't call it that. But she also doesn't want to know what hamburgers are made out of. She wants to put that out of her mind and not think about feeling sad about the cow, even though she's an animal lover. And along those lines, there's all kinds of toxins and other gross stuff that are in dairy milk. There's pus and there's blood. They're typically hooked up to machines, and dairy cows are in bondage, and so you're drinking the infections and the lack of love that's gone into how their milk is processed. You're drinking their fear and their unhappiness as well. I really believe that we're energy beings, and this is an energy world, and this is an energy universe, and we're here to raise our energy and hold the frequency. So that's my agenda. So on that note, here's just a quick tip for the world's easiest milk. And really, once I learned this, I was so stoked I never again had to bother wasting my money on cow milk. And really, I don't have to waste my money on alternative milks either, which are crazy expensive, and they really don't need to be. I mean, I have some stuff to show you before I get started. But you can make nut milk out of so many different things. You could use walnuts, which it says here D. Carter is watching. Hi D, good to see you. Good morning, Grand Rising. You can use walnuts. They're expensive. I don't use walnuts to make my nut milk. I save them for my delicious treats like tacos. You could even use pumpkin seeds. And I'm not going to use pumpkin seeds, but honestly, I use pumpkin seeds a lot because they're so cheap. They're one of the cheaper nuts that I can buy, so I basically live on pepitas. You could use flax seeds. These are a great nut milk or seed milk base. I haven't done it before. I used to have an issue with flax seeds. I thought they were too chalky, and I've long since gotten over that. I just haven't tried it yet. And then hemp seed hearts, which again, these are really expensive. I'm not sure about where you live or if you know a source to buying them inexpensively, but I save these for my smoothies and for toppings on my nice cream or on my milkshake or even my acai bowl. I've also got wealth right now of sunflower seeds, and this is what I would be using. They're not roasted and they're not salted, and I would honestly be using sunflower seeds to make my nut milk this morning, except I had a request, so we're going with cashews. Cashews are probably my favorite nut. They are awesome to use in nut milk because they blend up so easily and they're so creamy. And unlike almond milk, I don't use almonds. They interact with me, and I get fever blisters from almonds. Actually, almost any nut, but almonds are the biggest culprit. In any case, I tend to use cashews instead. And they're one of the more expensive nuts, but since we have a request, I'll go ahead and I'll use cashews. Probably I'll finish up the week with some sunflower seed nut milk or seed milk. And when you look online, they make nut milk sound like it's so difficult and you got to plan ahead. You've got to soak the nuts the night before or at least 4 hours in advance. And that's probably great. That's probably best. It's true. But here I have 1 cup of cashews sitting in 4 cups of water, and they've been soaking for about an hour, maybe half an hour whenever I woke up. Not very long. I didn't remember to do it last night, and that's really okay. They get creamier and they soak up more water the longer you let them soak. I've also got a couple of dates in there. You'll see when I pour it out. I'm going to pour out the water that's been soaking in, and I'm sure that this water has been found to be good for something, and I'm wasting some amazing vegan deliciousness, but I don't know about that yet. So I'm just pouring out the water, just straining it out through my hand. It doesn't have to be well drained. I'm just going to rinse it as soon as all this water's out anyways. And I just want to make sure that water's clear and we're ready to rinse it. And then these are going in the blender. It's that easy. If you didn't have time to soak them, you kind of don't need to worry about it. I don't know why they're so insistent on soaking. I think it's for creaminess, and it's true. It won't be quite as creamy. The other thing is I put a couple of dates to soak up some moisture as well. So I'm just gonna make sure that I get the pits, because those don't break up even in your blender. You will just hear grinding and grinding forever. And get my other date out. And get the other pit out. And then I'm just gonna dump all of these into my high-powered blender. I have a Vitamix that is something I saved up for and I bought when I found out that I had fibroids, but I had been into health food for years and I had never taken the time or the money to really love myself enough to buy a high-speed blender until I found out that I was sick. And so I've got my 1 cup of cashews. I've got 2 dates. You could add some agave syrup, a couple of spoonfuls of agave syrup to sweeten it up. You could add some cinnamon. You could even add some real vanilla extract. Please don't go with the fake stuff. Go with the real stuff, which of course is going to be more expensive because it's real food. But don't do the cinnamon and the vanilla unless you want sweet milk. If your recipe is going to call for something savory, or if you're using it in a savory sort of dish, then forgo those items. And I'm just going to use 4 cups of water. That's 1 jar, 1 quart. I'm going to blend this up. This is going to make enough milk to last for 2 to 3 days. If you need more milk, you can make more, but I wouldn't keep it longer than 3 days. I'm just going to turn the speed up.
Cashew Shay. How are you? I hope I said your name right. I absolutely love your name and how poetic it is. Good morning. Now, because I was supposed to, supposedly be a good hippie and let these soak for 4 hours or even better yet, overnight, they're not going to be, the milk isn't going to be as creamy and the nuts aren't going to be as easily blended. So I just paused in the middle to explain that I'm going to be blending for a little bit longer, but usually it doesn't take very long and you don't have to worry about any grit or grinding because you'll have soaked your nuts in advance. Okay, here we go. And that is it. Good morning, Goli. Nami Hussein, I hope I'm saying your name right as well. I just finished making a batch of cashew milk and it's ready to go. That was it. Now, if you're picky about pulp, especially like if it was almond milk that you were making, people tend to strain out the pulp. You can put it through a sieve, or Vitamix even makes nut milk bags and nut milk strainers. We have a little bit more than 4 cups because we had 1 cup of cashews as well. And that means I just get a little bit extra here to taste. Cheers, ladies. That's delicious. A quick trick to whenever you don't have any cow milk or whenever you're ready to go vegan. Oh, and good afternoon to you. Oh my gosh, it's afternoon there. Well, hopefully you can use this maybe tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if you'll be using milk in your dinner, but maybe for your tea. I'm going to be making some chai tea as soon as I get off camera, and this will be going straight in it. All right, that was it, ladies. It's short and sweet. I've got little over 4 cups of cashew milk. You've tried to make it before, I see. And can I ask, how did it turn out for you? Was it difficult, or was it too much work? Was it too much planning? That's really what gets me, is I forget to soak the nuts, and what I found is, oh well, I don't have time. It's okay. If I remember, I remember, and if I don't, it still turns out delicious. You can see, definitely frothable, definitely creamy. It'll settle a little bit into the bottom, but you can just stir it up. The other great thing that I want to say, especially that people do with their almond milk pulp. Exactly, thank you. Goli, it was super easy, wasn't it? And you just have to remember to soak the day before, which I never do. So in truth, these were soaking for like half an hour, maybe an hour, while I got up and while I remembered to put my face on. But what I was also saying is that some people, I haven't done it yet, but I know it's possible, and it's, I'm sure, just as easy. When you strain your almond milk, or you strain the pulp out of your nut milk, you can keep what you've strained, spread it out on a cookie sheet or out in the dehydrator, let it dry, and then you have almond flour or cashew flour, which is a great base for cookies. Gotta love cookies and milk. Anyways, ladies, I love you all. Peace and blessings. I'm so glad you're here doing the 21-day fibroid fix with us. I really needed this. I'm excited to be doing it with you, and I'll see you next time.